Hi, Annie here. I'm going to do Vlogmas. I've never done Vlogmas, even though I've done a lot of videos over the years, hundreds and hundreds of them, I think. But I'm going to do Vlogmas this year. I want to engage with the Vlogmas community as I can, and also, and honestly, I want to engage with the low-carb community, sharing aspects of my life that link me to all of those who are on a similar journey to I am when it comes to that. So I look forward to sharing little bits and pieces of my life for the next month for Vlogmas. Now let's get on to today. So you're going to see food pretty regularly in my vlogs. That's for myself and for a record I'm keeping of my journey to continue to lose weight. I've lost 50 pounds so far and have just recently switched over to a low-carb diet. So the vlogs are also going to be a continuation of my journaling regarding that trip to better health. If you have a problem with seeing meat in food, you might want to think about whether you want to watch my vlogs, because there will be meat. This morning's breakfast was an omelet with cheese and mushrooms, and it was about 4 carbs. The sun coming through the kitchen window this morning was amazing. The leaves are coming off the trees around us. We live in the woods. So every day there is a change in the light and how it's coming through our windows. I had a small panic when I realized I'd forgotten to take out the chicken thighs, which were supposed to be for dinner. And then I remembered about defrosting things in water. You know, when you haven't been cooking meat, you can always go to the fridge and make a vegetarian meal. So you don't think about thawing things out in advance. So one of the many changes I have to go through in this new way of eating low carb. This is the kind of picture that I'm warning those of you who don't like meat pictures. Maybe the vlog won't be for you going forward. You're going to see a little bit of this kind of thing every day. So the next thing in my day is my walk. Usually when I'm home and the weather is good, I walk somewhere after breakfast and before lunch. I'm so lucky where I live because I can walk in beautiful environment. So this is where my walk begins. It's right outside my house. At the bottom of the street, and you can see kind of a grayish house at the very, very end, is the bay. And that's the first place I head to every time I go out for a walk. Don't you just love walking in the leaves? This is the bottom of the hill. And 2-3 minute walk down the hill from the house. And here's the gray house at the end of the street, which I realized when I looked back you really couldn't see in the picture I started my walk with. Which brings us to the bay. I've zoomed in on this guy. He was actually at the end of the previous clip. He's a great blue heron, and we see plenty of them this time of year. You don't usually see too many of them together, although this one did have its buddy, and from this distance I can't tell you who's the Mr. and who's the Mrs. But they'll be together for a little while, but then they do separate. They don't hang out for the year together, so then we'll only see one by itself. But there actually was 2 of them out there today. Aren't they beautiful? It's actually all hunkered down because it's a windy day. You'll see pictures going forward where they're standing up erect with those long, beautiful necks. Since we've moved here, I've learned a lot about living at the edge of the wetlands. One of the things I've come to appreciate are all the grasses. They all have such different personality, and this particular one, this time of year, it gets all silvery and the light just comes through it in just such a almost an ethereal way. We've also learned since we've moved here there are a lot more kinds of gulls than I ever gave credit to when I used to visit the ocean growing up. We've even learned what gulls stay all year long and what gulls migrate. Unfortunately, the terns, which probably are my favorite because of the way they dance in the sky, they're gone for the year now. But we still have plenty of other gulls. In fact, we jokingly call these gulls the bagels rather than the seagulls because they hang out on our bay. I live in a manufactured home community, and our property management started bringing in tiny houses this year. Well, they're not really tiny houses. They're slightly bigger than a tiny house. They're called park models. I was so excited when they came in because I admit I'm addicted to tiny house videos. So to be able to see them in person and go inside, and now to watch more and more of them beginning to arrive, it just tickles me. I love it. I wanted to show you this picture because I wanted to show you how close we are to the ocean. This is a magnified picture looking out over our bay, which is the Rehoboth Bay. And if you see those two towers over in the distance, they're old security gun towers from World War II, and they sit on the Atlantic shore. The Rehoboth Bay has a small stretch of land, maybe a quarter of a mile wide, that separates it from the ocean. That's why we get to smell the sea air here constantly, and when the wind's just right, we get to hear the ocean. On the home stretch now, our house is at the bottom of this road. So I'm back from my walk, a little bit out of breath, walking against the wind a lot today. When I'm doing my walks in the morning, I think this vlog is going to be mostly about my walk and then my meals for the day because I'm tracking that for Atkins. I can't usually use the sound on my camera because I don't have a wind buffer, or the one I have doesn't work too good, however you look at that. And whew, walking uphill against the wind. Okay, I celebrate that a year and a half ago I couldn't have done this. So let's talk about the walking. A year and a half ago, started Weight Watchers and lost close to 60 pounds. I'll update you on what's happened with that journey since, because it's changed a little bit. And not a bad thing, but it's changed a little bit. So I wanted to add exercise to my routine, especially since I can now move where I couldn't move pounds ago. And walking was the answer. I just didn't stick to anything else. I tried Tai Chi, but tended to have a problem with balance and falling over, although I love it. I start yoga this coming week, so that'll be helpful. And, oops, I have a little problem with the camera. I don't usually hold the camera loose. I usually use a tripod, but I think if I'm going to do these Vlogmases, I'm going to have to get used to holding the camera so I'm more kind of spontaneous and not set up. I think it'll make for better videos, even though the quality won't be quite as good. Hopefully the conversation will. So I took to walking a year and a half ago. And I've walked and I've walked and I've walked. It's kind of like that Forrest Gump thing where he started to walk and he just kept walking. Yeah, I like the walking. That's something I actually do without telling myself I don't want to do it, can't do it, whatever. So I'm going to start this video with thanks to my walk this morning. Probably the rest of the video, these Vlogmases are supposed to be short, will be my meals for the day, but there'll be lots of other things I'll talk about, including why, in the end, I had to move away from Weight Watchers to another program. I'm still struggling with that a bit, because I liked Weight Watchers, but you get to know your body when you're on a health journey. So, The rest of this video will probably just be an update on the meals for the rest of the day. And I look forward to vlogging every day. Now, you know me, if you do know me, the challenge is going to be, I'm used to yattering on, keeping it short. It'll be good for me to practice journaling in bites. Our dear little bogey. Lunchtime, and today's lunch is a chicken pesto salad. I'll put the link to the recipe in the text box below. It was really, really yummy. I used this brand of tube pesto because I figured I could keep it in the refrigerator and keep using it without it going bad. This was a 3-carb lunch. So I had planned on getting a little bit more useful things done today. I actually wanted to start decorating the house for the holidays. But after I ate my lunch, I sat down with Roger for a bit in the living room, and he was watching a special on TV, which I think was like an hour and a half long. And it was Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, who happens to be my absolute favorite comedian. So that's how I spent the next hour and a half. So I'm only leaving the house for one errand today. Every week I create and copy the order of service for my church services on Sunday. And so I am headed to the only place you can do that where we live, because things are far and few between where I live, and I'm headed to Staples to copy the order of service. So that might be about it for the vlog for me, except for putting this all together for you later on. And it's been fun getting back into capturing my day for anyone who might have an interest, especially for those who are doing Vlogmas, because it's kind of a fun thing that happens every year, and I've never done it. I'm kind of excited about doing it now. That was exciting, wasn't it? I do that every week. I volunteered to do that when I joined my new church. And the woman I took it over with, when she was training me how to do it, said she'd just done it for 13 years. And I said, I don't know if I've just volunteered to do that for 13 years, but I'll do it for a few years. It's nice to be able to help out my church in some ways. And then there was dinner, and it wasn't exactly what I'd planned. I was going to cook. Roger got involved in a project in our kitchen, fixing a light there, so I couldn't get into the kitchen to start cooking. By the time he was done, I suggested we go out to dinner. So I did pretty good at dinner. It's the first time we've been out since I started us on the Atkins. I made good choices for us, which was the wings and the chef salad. Checked the carbs when I came home, which wasn't necessarily the best way to do that. And probably should have eaten a little bit less of the meat in the salad and not the cucumbers in the salad. I ended up with 13 carbs. Well, not that that's terrible, but I am on the induction phase for Atkins, which means I want to stay under 20 carbs per day, and I hit 22 today, so it's the first time I've gone over. Okay, that'll be it for today's contribution to Vlogmas. I enjoyed putting it together and getting back into video making again. Ernie's telling us it's the end of the day. So there's that, and until tomorrow.